So, building upon what we shared prior, how the elite are preparing the coronation of their Antichrist, the crowning of the serpent, how we can find that hidden in plain sight in the heavens. So if we look at the celestial golden gate, where Ophiuchus is the gatekeeper, restraining the serpents desiring to seize the northern crown or corona borealis, reflective of the crowns who are bestowed upon believers, but which can be lost or forfeited by believers. And the serpent is there lurking and desiring to take what believers are setting aside or what they lose. And in addition to that section of the heavens, we see that Virgo is positioned to the right of that constellation, and to her right again we find Leo. And why is that important? Because if we look at the Sphinx architecture in Giza, the Sphinx and the pyramid architecture, we see that same makeup of the pyramid with the missing capstone and the hybridization of Leo and Virgo in the Sphinx, so the combination of the woman and the lion, reflective of the beginning and end point on the celestial clock. We see that reflected into that structure. In addition to the many-fold programming of the elite, of the desire of them to put the missing capstone upon the pyramid. So the pyramid in the stars is structured from the constellations Libra, the scales, or actually the altar of redemption, according to the Bible, and Ophiuchus, the serpent holder. Libra takes up 2 stars at the lower right, and the other 5 belong to Ophiuchus for a total of 7. Below the pyramid we find Scorpio and its brightest star, Antares. This constellation corresponds to the pit underneath the Great Pyramid. Above the pyramid we find Serpent's caput, or the serpent's head, poised to go after Corona Borealis, the northern crown, which this author states to represent the capstone, which I find plausible. The timing is interesting as well, because note how these particular constellations are most easily seen from the latitude of 55 degrees north, looking southward in the early mornings of February to April. So we see the elite preparing the coronation of the Antichrist, the crowning of the serpent, at the exact same time where these constellations are best visible in the heavens. But in an attempt to see through the enemy's scheming and plotting and deception and lies, we see how they are actually preparing towards the coming of their false Messiah. We are not to be deceived by that or sidetracked by it, but we are invited to focus on the Lord and our spiritual preparation instead. So despite the elite fear-mongering and spreading of their quote-unquote love virally, we may actually rest in the Lord's covering, direction, tools, and provision. And while studying Psalm 91, I found that hidden in this psalm, we actually find the constellations we have studied this time and in the article prior, namely the constellations of Cepheus the king, Cassiopeia the queen, Perseus the breaker coming forth to set free his bride, Andromeda from her chains to the world. Please read along with me. P is for Psalm 91. Psalm 91 offers us overcoming insight in writing and the heavenly signs we meditated upon, confirming the Lord's message. I will highlight in bold and comment in blue on the different constellations referred to in the text. So, Psalm 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High. So the secret place of the Most High is, like Cassiopeia, dwelling, seated next to the king, spiritually in the heavenly throne room. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him I will trust. Surely He will deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. So the deliverance is coming forth from Perseus, the breaker and deliverer, and the pestilence is what is surrounding us as we speak. And that is also parallel to what happened prior to the Exodus. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. So we are surrounded by the threats of pestilence, plagues, wars, and rumors of wars. And Psalm 91 instructs and comforts us not to be focused on that, and especially to not be afraid of it. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. So this is both reflective of a spiritual backsliding, potentially falling away, but also of people we actually see being affected unto death by these plagues and pestilences which are all around us. But these are not intended for the bride who has made herself spiritually ready to meet the Lord. Because verse 8 continues, only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. So that is a really important confirmation given to us that we are not only secure in Christ eternally, but we are also physically secured from these plagues and pestilences, much like the people of Israel were being sanctified and set apart in Goshen and not affected by most of the plagues and pestilences prior to the Exodus. But this is a specific provision the Lord has made for us in this time. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. So the upbearing again is a type of the rapture, like Perseus coming to seize his bride and bring her by means of Pegasus into the heavenly throne room. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and the adder, the young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet. So Perseus is reflective of already having trodden our enemy under his feet, like the Medusa snakes, the roaring lion seeking to devour us. Draco, the enemy of Cassiopeia, wanting to attack her, is shielded from her by Cepheus the king. Because he has set his love upon me, that is reflected in the heart and soul nebula inscribed in Cassiopeia we dealt in the former article. Therefore will I deliver him, I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him, and shew him my salvation. So Cepheus the king is set up on high. Cassiopeia the queen is sitting right next to him. He shall call upon me. The king Cepheus will call Andromeda up through Perseus, transported by Pegasus. And the deliverer is Perseus. The honor bestowed upon the king is embodied by Cassiopeia the queen, who is making her final preparations in the throne room. And Andromeda, by faith, will be exalted to become Queen Cassiopeia, from her salvation shown in her obedience and her following the Lord, and enabling Perseus to not only break her free in the rapture, but to break the enemy's strongholds over her in her life right now. So the final portion, I would like to give thanks to all of you listening to the videos, but also reading the articles. I'm especially thankful for all the loving comments and feedback and input and support. So a personal note in gratitude for you all, my beloved brothers and sisters, helping me grow, overcome, and go forward in faith the past week. And also to give you some context how I got to the topics of Milan and Venice, because I was accompanying my daughter who was writing a school paper on the Milan fashion industry. And we together were studying the history of the city and the history of the fashion industry, and then all this symbolism of also occult symbolism and what the fashion industry is doing in the New World Order, just like a rose in front of me. So the virus-stricken Fashion Week of Milan and subsequent city lockdown was brought to my attention by the Lord in this way, and He brought forth many interesting puzzle pieces I would have never searched out on my own or understood otherwise. The Lord prompted me to continue to study the astronomical rapture scene in the heaven. We meditated upon prayer and now focus on Perseus the breaker coming for our rescue, trotting the enemy underfoot and about to break the tribulation seals, darkly mirrored in mythology and by occultists as the Gorgon Medusa, seeking to kill her spectators by merely gazing upon her. Throughout, the Lord helped me to discern and learn to spiritually overcome the amped-up darts of fear, confusion, and disease the enemy is aiming at, not just these areas in China but also specifically at me and my family right now, in the increasing birth pains. The Lord, through studying and giving me understanding and discernment, offered me comfort and encouragement, and I would like to extend that to you. A dear friend assured me subsequently that Medusa's judgment is set, affirming Perseus' nature as coming in judgment, both to break the revelation seals as well as the enemy's hold over us. And her spirit-given word confirmed the Lord wanted me to continue to study on this path. Another sister encouraged me to remain in peace and patiently wait until the Lord gives me personal direction, something I find really difficult because I tend to, and am easily tempted to go ahead of Him and step outside His peace and plan for me. And I'm especially grateful for being able to write this week, to have the time and the energy and the health to do that, because of all the healing prayers and encouraging emails, notes, and blessings from all of you, my brothers and sisters, helping me to recover my health and strength and giving me the time and liberty to research and write. So thank you all who visit these pages, and warm blessings, Sabine. So if you are led to, I'm really looking forward to your comments and to if you have questions about what you have listened to or seen or read, feel free, or send me a private email if that is what you prefer. So I pray the Lord's blessings over your day, and hope to see you in the comment section and preferably really soon in the air. Much love. Bye-bye.